Hey there everybody, the PTB for Portrait of a Murder, which is chapter 22 of Dead by Daylight, has just come out. So I want to take this time to go over the new killer, go into her perks a little bit, as well as her power. Now unfortunately there won't be any gameplay of her power in this video because queue times are kind of a mess right now. But maybe later today I'll post a video of her gameplay as well as a Mori if we're lucky. But this video will cover her perks and we'll briefly talk about what her power does. So first things first, this is the new killer. Her name is the Artist. She's a inky crow lady, and honestly, kind of mommy material, not gonna lie. You know, I don't really simp for video game characters too often, but she's kind of hot. She's kind of hot. I'd let her kill me. That being said, let's quickly jump into what her power does. So the Artist's power is called Birds of Torment, which reads as follows. From a wellspring of eternal agony comes a swarm of darkness, a wild and ferocious murder of ink-black crows. Press and hold the power button to charge Birds of Torment. Once fully charged, tap the attack button to summon a dire crow. You can repeat the action quickly by continuously holding down the power button and tapping the attack button again. When at least one dire crow is summoned, it stays idle for a limited time. Spawning a new dire crow will extend the time the previously spawned dire crow stays idle. Tap the ability button to propel the dire crows into flight. Dire crows can inflict damage for a short distance when flying. This is indicated to the killer by the dire crow's flight path. Once the dire crow continues past the flight path, it will no longer inflict damage, but can now pass through any obstacles and reveal nearby survivors using killer instinct. In this phase, dire crows will create a swarm around the survivors they hit, allowing the killer to see the swarm's aura on the survivor. The survivor can repel the swarm by completing the repel action or entering a locker. During this time, the swarm's aura is not shown to the killer. A survivor being swarmed will receive damage if hit by another dire crow. So she is a ranged killer, but her attack is broken down into two different sections. There's the short range section, where the dire crows can actually damage survivors, and then there's the long range section, which the dire crows can go through walls, I'm assuming pallets, windows, everything, and then show the survivor's aura via killer instinct. So her power is very interesting. I'm not sure how she's going to compare to other range killers. For example, the Huntress, who can damage at any distance with her hatchets. But one thing the Artist does have that the Huntress doesn't have is that the Artist moves at 115% movement speed. So she's a normal speed killer. She's not slowed down like Huntress, Trickster, Deathslinger. But yeah, without gameplay, it's kind of hard to judge where she stands in terms of like a tier. Just based on this, I'm assuming she's probably going to be a little bit lower than Huntress, but I have not actually played her yet, so this is all just speculation, and I implore you to, take what you've read here and kind of just, make your own opinions out of it. I don't know where she's going to stand, I haven't played her, but I think she's going to be okay. Probably not as good as Huntress. So now let's jump into her perks and what they do. Her first perk is called Grim Embrace. Your act of servitude to the entity has not gone unnoticed. Each time a survivor is hooked for the first time, you gain a token. Upon reaching 4 tokens, Grim Embrace activates. The entity blocks all generators for 20 seconds. The obsession's aura is revealed to you for 4 seconds. Okay, so, this is interesting. You need to gain 4 tokens to actually block the generators. So that's the downside of this perk. If a survivor, is able to hide from you for the entire match, and you don't see them until the very end, this perk is basically a dead perk. It is cool in theory. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of really cool builds with it, but I'm looking at the downsides right now. If there is a survivor hiding off in the corner, just playing very stealthy, this is a dead perk. You need to hook all 4 survivors, and then it'll activate. Blocking generators for 20 seconds, I believe at tier 3 it is 30 seconds, which is nice. Gen regression and gen protection is very important for killers, but once again, there's a lot of setup for this, and there are some major downsides. I think, honestly, I'd rather just run Deadlock from the Cenobite. I think that's more bang for your buck and less risk. That being said, I like the idea. I'm sure there's going to be some cool builds with it. The Artist's second perk is called Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. We first saw the Scourge Hook perks introduced with the Hellraiser chapter, so it's cool to see them being expanded upon further in Portrait of a Murder. So, Pain Resonance does the following. Overwhelming pain reverberates outwards into chaos. At the start of a trial, up to 4 random hooks are changed into Scourge Hooks. You see their auras in white. Anytime a survivor is hooked on a Scourge hook, the generator with the most progress explodes, instantly losing 9% progress and will start to regress. Survivors repairing their generator will scream, revealing their location. I really like this perk. I think there's going to be some really, really crazy plays with this. I can see, this paired with Pop, for instance. I can see this paired with Dead Man's Switch, honestly. As crazy as that sounds, as useless as Dead Man's Switch is. I can see this being paired with Deadlock, with... I don't know. Like, there's so many different possibilities here. Just imagine this. I think at tier 3, it is 15% progress that gets lost. So, you hook a survivor on a Scourge hook. The nearest gen is close to you. You hook them, instantly loses 15% progress. The survivor screams, revealing their location. Maybe they're silly and they jump back on the generator. And you can walk right over, pop it with Pop Goes the Weasel for another 25%. You just took out half the generator in like a few seconds. I'm sure there's going to be some wild combos I'm not even thinking of. But right now, I think this is probably the artist's best perk. It doesn't have the downsides that Pentimento or Grim Embrace have. It's just pure gen regression. There's no requirement other than hooking on that specific hook, and there are 4 of them, so you have a pretty good chance of triggering this multiple times throughout the match. So I honestly think Scourge Hook Pain Resistance is the artist's best perk. The artist's last perk is called Hex Pentimento. You reveal the true power of the totems, hidden within the remains. You see the aura of destroyed totems. You can perform a ritual on a destroyed totem to resurrect it as a rekindled totem. The more rekindled totems that exist, the greater their effects. 1 rekindled totem reduces survivors' repair speed by 20%. 2 rekindled totems reduces survivors' healing speed by 20%. 3 rekindled totems reduces survivors' recovery speed from being down by 20%. 4 rekindled totems reduces survivors' exit gate opening speed by 20%. And 5 rekindled totems causes all totems to be blocked by the entity. When a rekindled totem is removed, its remains are consumed by the entity. So I actually don't really get this perk. I get it, but I don't. So the thing is, we're in the meta of boon perks right now. So are people really destroying that many totems? I don't see us ever getting more than 1 or 2 stacks out of this perk. So that being said, 20% repair or healing speed reduction is huge. But then again, there's another downside. This is a hex perk, so this perk can be cleansed. I don't know. I feel like there's just so many downsides of this perk. Either it's just never going to trigger because no one's going to be cleansing dull totems, or your hex totem's going to be cleansed as well. I know hex perks are supposed to be powerful, and this does sound powerful if it worked and you got 5 stacks, but I don't even get how you would get 5 stacks, because wouldn't that require the hex perk to be cleansed as well? To get 5 totems? Because by the sounds of it, you can only rekindle totems once, because they're going to be removed by the entity if they're broken again. So I don't really understand how this perk works, to be 100% honest with you. It sounds cool in concept, but it sounds like there's a lot of downsides, either with people not cleansing the totems, or it being a hex perk. And the requirements for getting 5 stacks doesn't really make sense to me, because I don't get it. I just don't understand. But maybe I'm just talking my ass right now because I haven't played the killer, I haven't played this perk. But right now it just doesn't make any sense. Maybe I'm missing something, and I'm sorry if I am, but this doesn't make sense to me. So that is about it for the artist. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you're interested in playing as the artist. This sounds like a really cool killer, and I'm looking forward to playing them myself. If you want to come watch me play, I'll be live on Twitch at 8 p.m. EST, link down in the description. I'd really appreciate you guys dropping me a follow. I'm trying to expand my horizons and doing a lot of Twitch stuff lately, so a follow would be appreciated. Until next time, folks, see you in the fog.